I've been married for almost 25 years. I have almost 19-year-old twin girls, a 13-year-old and a 6-year-old. And I work now as a high school support teacher. I was pregnant with my fourth child. I went to my, what's my baby doctor's name? My obstetrician. I went to him and he noticed a mole on my belly. It was probably about the size as early in the pregnancy, probably about a 10-cent piece. So it's quite a dark mole on my belly that had been there for a while. And he didn't like the look of it. So he asked if he could take it out when I had my cesarean section. And he did. When I did have my cesarean section, I was fully under. So he took the mole out and sent it away for pathology. And my baby was 10 days old when he rang and said that I had melanoma. Yeah, from there, so he's not, that's not his specialty. So he sent me to a skin specialist who had a look at the area and the size, and he wouldn't touch me. He said I needed to go straight to the Melanoma Institute. I'd been given no sort of information other than I needed further specialist treatments. At this stage, I still had no idea what I was in for. Like, I really didn't think it could, potentially kill me. I just thought we were going to get some more moles off. And honestly, in reality, I don't know how I wasn't aware of it, being someone in the sun all the time. I wasn't aware of what was about to happen and how aggressive this form of cancer was. I didn't even really think it was cancer, to be honest. It was just moles. From there, I had to not feed. I was still feeding my baby at this stage, so that was very challenging. I had to go in for the day surgery. I couldn't feed him for a day, and he had to go on bottles at that time. And that was pretty traumatic for everybody, and recovery is fairly slow because of the size of the melanoma. For us, it was very difficult because I had 12-year-old girls who were taking time off school to help look after the younger boys, a husband who was trying to run a business. And for us, we also had the added issue of losing my brother 12 months beforehand. So there was a lot going on in our family. And mum and dad were still grieving, and now their baby had cancer. So it was very difficult, really difficult time for us. So I had the lymph node biopsy, and that showed that I had melanoma in my left side. So we had a full clearance on the left side. There was no treatment options offered to me at that, like immunotherapy or anything offered at that time. I didn't qualify for anything. The clearance took an awful long time to recover from. I had staph infections that put me in hospital for weeks on end, hooked up to IV antibiotics. I had to stop feeding my baby. He was only 3 months old at this stage. So I had to stop feeding him, which still is pretty upsetting. And just the trips back and forth to hospital. And I was literally there for sometimes weeks at a time because they just couldn't get the wound to close and they couldn't get rid of the staph for me. And having a baby at 40, I was already pretty weak. So we did struggle a lot with that. After that, I did get the all clear. It's probably about 6 months before I started to feel okay again. And then 2016, so it was about 9 months down the track, I noticed on the right side some lumps in my groin. Straight away, I knew it was back. The whole time, I had a feeling that I wasn't, in the clear. So I went to my GP, who I could tell by her face, she knew what it was. So within weeks, no, not even weeks, probably a week, I was back at the Melanoma Institute. Saw my new surgeon. I changed surgeons in this time, and he said he wouldn't operate because the tumours were too big. And he told me to go and see Professor Long. And I had said to him, I don't need an oncologist. I still didn't know I had cancer. Like, it was just, I don't know, I didn't believe it. He said, yes, you do. You do? I said, no, just cut it out and I'll, we'll deal with that and I'll get better. And he said, no, you've got 4 kids. I'm not doing it. So he sent me to Georgina, and I had a few meltdowns there because I still didn't believe I was sitting in an oncologist's office. From there, she put me on a treatment which was 3 months of immunotherapy, some wonder drugs that are just literally the reason I'm still here. They shrunk the tumours, and I had my second lymph node clearance within 18 months of each other. In between all of this, I was back at clinic at North Sydney. I'm at Southern Shire, so it's a good hour and a half in traffic. This is with 4 kids, husband running his business. My sister gave up a lot of her time to help out. My parents, I had a whole tribe of people because I had to go back and get bloods taken every few days. The surgery was probably a little bit tougher to recover from this time because I didn't have a lot of immune system left. I had 12 weeks with a hole in my leg, which I had to pack myself because I'd get staph every time someone would touch me. And the concern was then whether I'd actually be able to walk or run properly again because of all the scarring and the damage. So that was very traumatic. The trial, however, I did get through. I was one of the only patients, or the only patient, to have full compliance in our trial group, which I'm pretty proud of that I got through it. And September 2017 was cancer-free. It was probably the staph infections that actually got me the most. I can remember just saying to my husband, I can't do this anymore. I can't deal with the pain. I can't deal with going back to another hospital because I just felt like I lived in hospitals, and that was not me. I'm fit and I'm active and I'm outside running all the time. So for me, that was really hard. But my surgeon said to me on the second time, he said, you need to live to see your child go to school. And I was really determined to do that. And the other thing was they weren't sure if I was going to be as active as I am, and I was determined to prove them wrong. So that's what lifted me up. But like I said, it wasn't always easy and it wasn't always strong, but I'm really lucky in that I had a really good support system around me. So that did help. Definitely don't give up on the treatment options. Like, I wish I had the first time pushed to go on a treatment trial, but I thought I could just walk away and be okay. Never not go back for checks. Like, you need to go back. Look, I'm still on 6 monthly checks now. I get my skin done, I get my PETs and my MRIs, and I actually quite like going to do that, as funny as it sounds, but it gives me that peace of mind now that I'm still okay. Look, the treatments work. The immunotherapies, like 10 years ago, not so much, but these days they are absolutely amazing. And I think give yourself as much information as you can, like do your own research also, because that does help you understand what they're trying to do. Like, you can be given all the tablets in the world and take 2 in the morning and 2 at night, but unless you actually know what they're trying to do to your body, it doesn't help you want to stay on them, especially when you're exhausted and you've got headaches, and you need to understand the reasons why they're cutting your leg open. So for me, it's do your own research also and understand what you're going through. On the Facebook pages, I'm on the melanoma patients, melanoma like there's so many different ones. Get on those Facebooks, because reading some of the stories and understanding that you're not alone is really important, and it really helped me get through a lot of those times where I can't do it. I can't deal with this today. It's not fair on the family. They shouldn't have to go through that. But reading some of those stories really helped me. You know how they did all the outreach programs and things, and I went and did a speaking there. So I actually like talking about it because I know it helped me get through, and it helps families. It's not just about the patient, it's about the family too. So for me, I actually like, well, it's hard to talk about, but I prefer to talk about it and educate other people. And being a school teacher, that's definitely an area I'm going down, especially when kids want to put hats on. It's definitely changed it, definitely. Yeah, you don't sweat the small stuff as much, honestly, and you appreciate life. Like, I wasn't a support teacher before this. I'm PE trained, and I've transitioned into support unit, and I believe it's because I've seen what it's like to not be fully functional, to have, or it felt like a disability to me at the time when my legs weren't working properly. So I really don't believe I'll be doing what I'm doing now without that. And like I said, I'm really keen to educate people and to work further with the Institute to get people to be wearing hats and educated and know that it's not just about getting moles off. Because I believe, even though there's a lot of work done, I didn't understand. And I've got a family history of it, and I still didn't understand. I think we just put our head in the sand, to be honest. So if people are more aware that it's not just about moles, which is what we're trying to do. Absolutely. My son went to school last year. That was really nice. Happiest just to be active and still be here. Honestly, it is a gift, and you don't realise it. For me, I do enjoy educating people about what I've been through. And also quite a lot of people, because I do speak about it, have gotten their skin checked. I had one of my friends the other day, it was during lockdown actually, she didn't like a mole. She went and got it checked straight away. It was melanoma. But because she got it early, because I was constantly telling her about it, telling her to wear a hat, it was fine. It was just a mole cut off, stage 1. So, yeah, for me, that was really good. That was a good outcome. Even if I can just a few people, it makes a big difference.